Alright, so today is Warframe Day. Now, this video is going to be a short one, probably under an hour. Or if my internet is fine, if my internet stays up, it'll go beyond the hour. But I want to state it in this video for the people who are part of the channel with regards to the anime stuff that I'm going to be posting. Um, there's a lot of them. So the anime stuff is going to be posted in February. And just like I said back in December and even in November, the Japanese people, various different companies, and even the manga companies, Shueisha, Kodansha, Grayson, the whole lot of them, Madhouse, even some of Viz people on the American side, released a lot of their stuff in January. So, back in the days, I used to be into, what studio was it? Before Gynic. And I believe
Operator,
Gynic.
Ordis is sorry. Happy to report that all my good jokes are gone.
I believe Studio Gynic became Studio Trigger. It's either Gynic or the other one with the same G name. I forgot the name. It's been so long. But yeah, the ones that I am going to be watching for the month of January, and I've already eliminated 10 of them. There were 35 new anime. 5 of them are children, which I'm not going to be watching, and the other 5, actually correction, 30 new anime. 30 new anime was released, not repeated series. 30 new anime. So I'll just name them off, so no one thinks that I'm bullshitting. I'll do it real fast too. Sakamoto Days. One that's called, if I'm not mistaken, Dungeon and Daiwa Otomeru. Another one called Class N Dekirai. Another is Uzure Saikyo. Other one is Hako. Ayo no Hako. Or not Ayo, or Io no Hako. It's a romance story. Another one is Boss Wo Solo, or I'll solo a boss just to get off of work, something like that. Another is Fugushoku, which is also a new one. Another one is Mamagami, Chino Imoshubi. Yeah, Watashi no Shiwase. Oh no, that's the second season, I believe. What else? Gotubon. Also, what else? I wrote them all down. I'm even including the kids ones as well. And I'm saying this in this video so you should understand like how many animes there are out there. The kids ones are like Mimi, Shimaru no Wow, yeah, and Bono. Those are for kids. Kimono Panda, also for kids. Saiza-san, and Nejad. How's that? Ninjaya. So Saiza-san is one, and Ninjasa is another. There's a lot of them. And then there's even one called Puzzles and Dragons. That's another one. And Chikao. There was a lot of kids stuff. But going back to the more adult stuff, or at least the more mature one, we have one called Yami. She by 14, and it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, something like that. There's even stuff like a new Beyblade and stuff, and of course, um, there's a romance stuff as Babamba Vampire, which is for people who love romance, and there's Trillion game, but I don't believe that's new. Pharmagia, which is also new, and of course Medalist. But what I'm trying to say is, if I keep going on and on, it just keeps going on and on. So at minimum, I believe I might be right. It might actually be 35, but there's no way I could watch all that within just 1 month. There's no way. Even if I started on the first week of January, there's no way I could get a good synopsis with the first 3 episodes, or even with the first 2 episodes. With even if I eliminate all the children's ones and left just the adult ones, there's no way with just 2 episodes per each different type. You have the synopsis episode and the pilot, which is the first episode, and then you have the next episode after the pilot. Um, if I'm doing 25 plus animes, if I eliminate all the kids one, or even if I'm doing 20 animes, and there's more than 20 of the adult type anime, even if I'm doing 20, it won't work. So I need that full 2 months. There's even a Dragon Ball Daima, new Dragon Ball anime, um, which is dealing with Goku as a kid and stuff. So lots of new stuff, lots of new stuff. And for today's video, it's purely Warframe related, so that's gonna have to sit there for a while. For this weekend, for next week, it's just gonna be all anime. And as for that God of War stuff, for which I purchased that PlayStation Plus, apparently the God of War stuff is something that you get like percentage off, so it's not like it's free. So I was completely wrong about that. So I basically did the PlayStation Plus for no reason, because they're not doing God of War Ragnarok. But it's all fine, you know. I get to do some challenge dungeons by looking at other people's glyph in Bloodborne, and I get stronger gems. So at least there's a plus aside to this, getting stronger gems and getting better resources that I would not have been able to get offline. So I'm just playing Bloodborne and leveling up Hollvania right now.
Please select destination. Plotting route.
But I did say in this video I'm going to drop a little bit of art knowledge. So we're living in an age of mixed media, and mixed media is now the norm. It's no longer simply about digital age, as many people say everything is completely digital. Well, that's not completely true, because authenticity lies more within things that you could do with your hands, and you could see and feel, and you could tell that's real and not real. And the only way to do so is to ensure that what you're showing is man-made, not something that's generated by a machine or computer graphics, because you could tell something that's computer graphics and something that someone hand did by themselves and then they enhance it. So this generation is the generation of mixed media. So we haven't gone completely AI, where everything is AI now and it's only tech that's running the show. Like, people respect those who actually put in the work physically, not just on a computer, but actually do the packaging work, do the comic book work, do the music work, physical stuff, not completely dependent on AI to solve their situations. So that said, this video is about that. This video is about understanding practical things you could do with regards to art that's present in video games, as well as in art world for whatever you're trying to do, as in printing out a comic or doing a poster or business card or something, or something less simple like making a kid's book. So what you want to do is, I would say, if you want to like better whatever you're trying to do, in whatever you're trying to do in the art field, or whatever field of art you're trying to do, is 5 main things. And you could take this with a grain of salt, or you could actually take it religiously. I don't really care how you take it, but it's been working for me, and it gets me up in the morning. It makes me do my work much faster. It makes me actually be more determined. It actually, writer's block doesn't get in the way, and I kind of shut off people quite easily with regards to this. So 5 things I would state that are part of a standard in art knowledge, or if it's not a standard, it should be something that you should be practicing. Just keep your focus, and also that are actually associated with the art field itself. So 1, the first thing you need is determination. Second thing you need is filial devotion. Filial devotion is dedicated to your will to keep enduring and doing something. You're devoted to it, like it's religious church. And something can only be a religious church if you have an enduring will to it. And the only way to have an enduring will to it is to have mythology to that thing. In other words, you do this thing so many times, it becomes habit. You have to make a thing that you're doing enduring a habitual thing. It has to be something that you practice and you make religious. And once you make it religious, you then put it under filial devotion, because it's now part of your endurance, as in a clock that ticks on a ticking clock. For every day that passes, you're not devoted to that thing. It's 1 hour less for you doing that thing. But if you take an hour out of a day, out of a week, out of a month that you would not have, you've added time period onto the devotion of that thing. And if you do 1 hour every day, that's 1 hour on a clock for a full, from 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock, or from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 360. You've done a full rotation. And if you think about it that way, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 7 to 7, 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10, 11, 11, 12. If you think about it that way, you look at the clock and say, in this hour I'm going to do this. And then in this hour, I'm not going to do it. And then I'll come back to it the next hour, I'll do this. And then the next hour, I'm not going to do it. And then the next hour, I am going to do it. If you take your art and design and your mentality for your devotion like this, then you'll manage to get at least a minimum of 6 hours of art done every day. Because your break period is based on a system of you taking many breaks, an hour per each hour of work. Now, if you have work, if you're going to work, if you have work in a work day, and your work day is a 12-hour work day, a 10-hour work day, you then get home, you're tired. Well, if you push yourself to about an hour of your work from being tired, then after the hour, you could get up, you could relax yourself your feet, and you're tired, but you're not sleepy. So you've now given yourself a full hour to rest and recuperate, and then you get back on the grinder. But then you say you don't really feel like it because you were so relaxed. But if you know, if you work that hour, you'll have another hour free to rest and relax, because the time period of you working and on whatever you're doing is less forgiven, because it's not hours. It's just 1 hour. So you're more motivated because there's less of a drag period. So you're able to do it. And so you're welcoming that additional hour thereafter. So you're able to do so. And that is what is called filial devotion to your artwork. That's part of enduring will. That's something that all artists must have. We follow that mythology. Determination is the first, filial devotion is the second. So how can you get up your determination to be an artist? Well, it's quite simple. Let's say I'm the laziest person on planet Earth. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get out of bed. Oh, I'm so tired. I am so tired. I don't care about anything. I lost my wife. I lost my dog. I lost my car. Okay. I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to turn to the left. I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to turn that way. I'm going to look up. So what you do in those situations, you start playing around with your body. Like you're playing around. So you start moving your body and you start making a joke out of it, like playing around with your body. And suddenly your body cannot be rested and sleepy because, you know, you're messing around. You're making a joke of your body by moving it around. Your arms, your legs, even your fingertips. You're moving one part of your body. Let's say it's just your arm. You're messing around, moving your fingertips. And all of a sudden, you know, your body doesn't want to go to sleep anymore because you've been working out one part of your arm and your legs. But let's say you do have the energy to get up. You don't need to do that, but you don't want to do any work. With regards to your art, how would you get the determination you need to do? Well, that's quite simple. I've made this art on this day, and I've reached to this point, and I haven't done it for a while, but it's at this checkpoint. Whether your checkpoint is in your mind or the checkpoint is something written on a piece of paper, I'm at this checkpoint. So if you think of determination as an association to you finishing a race, as long as you tag the checkpoint where you last stop at, and you remember where you last stop at, and you continue from where you last stop at, that will continue your determination moving on forward. Because you're not going back to the beginning all over again. You're starting at your checkpoint and you're moving forward. Now, if you're talking about determination with regards to time periods, from one time period to the next, like long gaps of time, how to shorten those long gaps of time, that simply has to do with 3 factors. 1, food consumption that you have in your body. If you feel you don't want to do anything, you must quickly go into your fridge and eat things that would give you the feeling of having energy. Things that you know that in your fridge that will give you energy. But let's say, for instance, okay, so it gives you energy, but it doesn't give you the mental motivation to do the thing. But you have the energy and you want to do something else. Well, how could you come back to the specific thing without doing something else? Like you get high off a bunch of apples or something, but you want to go for a run, but you actually need to focus on doing artwork. How would you go to that instead of wanting to go to a run? Well, the solution to that is more simple than you think. You simply consider everything else that's around you void and non-existent. Consider it that way. Consider everything around you void, non-existence. It's like, oh, I really need to, I got all this high, I have all this energy. It's a shame for me to waste all of this because who knows when I'll do another curl. I have all this energy, I could lift up a car now. Who knows when I'll be able to do another. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I feel have so much energy. Who knows when I'll do this? Well, there is no such thing as lifting up cars. If you tell your memory that, like, there is no such things as lifting up cars, there is no such thing as going to your girlfriend's house, there is no such thing as anything other than you sitting down. You know, I don't really need to go to groceries, buy groceries. I don't need to do my laundry, because there's no such things until I finish this. So whatever you believe you wanted to now get that energy to waste it towards, you then say, well, there is no such thing in this world called this. Like, the only thing in this world that exists is this thing. So whatever my mind is telling me, well, this is waste, but there is no such thing as those other things. At this very moment, this is what the energy needs to be go towards, because everything else doesn't really exist. So that's one way to fool your mind into doing something. Another way to do so, if that doesn't work for you, is go from one place to another place in order to fool your head into doing something. Like, if your mind is determined on using that energy for exercise, move from one place to another place and then see what happens. Like, I'm not talking about you're moving from one place to another place and sit in a room and see what happens. I'm talking from moving from one place to another place, doing an activity related to what you're trying to do, and see what happens. If it feels the same way, then I don't really have an answer for that. But if you don't feel the same way, you feel like you're now more focused, then that's the answer. My solution to a situation is what I just said. If I'm studying, if I need to study, if I need to do my art studies, what I'll do is I study, I go to a location that I know that I will get study and there will be no distractions. But if I study at that location for, let's say, even 30 minutes, not even an hour, and I start to get distracted by whatever it is, I move to another location that I know I'll be able to study. And another location, I tag locations, whether they're in my house or whether they're around me, that I could switch my mind from place to place. Because whatever objects or whatever thing that's within the vicinity that's blocking my path, it's a distraction. So your block path in your mind are either present things that are around you and aren't helping you. So you need to find like certain spots, certain checkpoints. Like, if you're sitting in the same location for a long time and you need to switch to a different location, you're fooling your mind that this new location is the new place that you're now sitting at, that you've never been before. So now you could study much longer there because you've never been to this location. And if you tag various locations throughout the day that's within your vicinity, location to location, local location, by the time the day is over, you've worked at various different locations studying because you've never been at one singular place. So it's a way of fooling your mind. It's the same thing. So that's how determination works, and that's how filial devotion works. So those two things are important for our knowledge. So just those two things. I said 5, but just those two things are the most important first. Now the third is doing the work itself. Now, if you're doing the work, and whatever it is that you're doing, the physical work, you have to have a space, you have to have your equipment, you have to have everything prepped and ready, placed to a certain side, present in front of you. You sit down, you do it, you get it done. And the work can only be developed through you having certain things placed the way you want it at certain specific places. Because if things start to get too jumbled up in front of you and you're doing things, and all of a sudden, because you were fidgeting around to find where your pencil is, that fidgeting around blocks your mind from a path that you would have not have went if you had certain things placed exactly where you want it to. So when you're doing any type of art, put the thing that you've taken out and you've done, but right back in the same place. Put it right back there. If it's an art brush or something, dab it in this water, dry it out, put it right back in this plate. So that when your mind goes to find, oh, I'm on this new scene and I need to use this brush, and then 1 hour later you have to go back to your original brush, you know exactly where your original brush is. It is not placed at some other place. So your mind is not distracted and blocked from where you're supposed to be. So having an organized things right in front of you, even if they're jumbled up right in front of you, but if they're in an organized way where you can put your hands this, like say, to the top right at 1 o'clock, this is where this is. At 12 o'clock, this is where this is. At 3 o'clock, this is where this is. If you set things around you 360 degrees or even 180, this is where this is, this is where this is. You will remember at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, at this o'clock, this is where these things are. And when I'm finished with them, I put them back. They don't have to be in the exact same spot, but they have to be within the exact same case. In other words, color pencils cannot be in the same place where watercolor brushes are. And watercolor brushes can't be in the same place where micron pens are, or any micron pencil. That's all I could say with regards to that. So that's the three things. Now, the three main things. Now, with regards to doing art, two last things. So you know how to concentrate, you're devoted, and you now have things organized as an artist, and you're doing your art. So how to get things to look good is first understanding proportions and perspective. I already talked about proportion and perspective before, so I'm not going over that again, but I'm going to use this vicinity as a good example. And I'm going to go over something called, I guess you would call it, did I go over shadows, light and shadows before? I think so. I think I went over light and shadows before. So it wasn't light and shadows. I think I did that way back in the Control days when I was playing Control. So it was two things. And those two things I recently had to revisit and relearn. And especially if you're using programs like Illustrator or Photoshop, is understanding your space. Space with regards to your workspace, your artboards and stuff like that. Not so much about organizing them, but when you're actually doing, let's say you're just drawing a piece of paper on a piece of paper or on an artboard using a pad or something, and you have shaky hands, and you're doing the artwork, and you're trying to move as fast as you can, and you have shaky hands. The whole thing that you find online about sketching and doing as much sketch, that's true, but you don't want to do as much erasing as possible, but you want to make your artwork as fast as possible. Well, that's very true, and that's the way you're supposed to do it, because that's the only way to do things with speed. But what I've learned is if you understand proportions and perspective on grid form boards, it works out much better. What I'm trying to say is try to, whatever you're working on, set your workspace or your blank workspace in a grid format. You don't have to do it, but you have to understand the grid allows you to see things more in proportion than without it, because without it you're depending solely on your eyes. Like, believe me when I'm saying this, if you have something set, line things on grids, and you put the eye level of a character, and I'm going to use this as an example. This thing right here, I'm standing right here. This thing is eye level to my character's eyes, Trinity's eyes. If you have your workspace where it's horizontal or vertical, and it's at eye level, if you draw a grid going directly straight across eye level, you now know exactly where the eyes will be with regards to the character, whether the character is facing this way, whether the character is facing this way, where the character is facing backwards. You will know exactly where the eye level is. So no matter how many sheets of paper you pull out, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5, if it's all about the character talking to another character, and the field of proportion is them standing in place in the same place, their eye level is always going to be here. So even if you're not using the grid with regards to a character that's standing in place and the character is moving around and the floor that they're on is not flat, like say they're going up and down talking to someone, then you could get away with having a person eye level proportion on a grid. If they're going down or they're going up, or the character's looking from various angles, it's a different story. But if it's a grid, two-person conversation on a flat floor, find an eye level, draw an eye level directly going from left to right, and also from top to bottom. In other words, split the character in half, from where the eye level goes straight from left to right, and from where the top of their skull is, all the way down to their groin, all the way up down, because the character is not moving out of place. And even if the character moves left or the character moves right, the form of their body, left and right, might change, as well as their head. But where the presence of the eye level is won't change. And where the presence of the chest, the groin, and of course the mouth and everything, those won't change. It's just the distance and the shape of the body changes, not the presence of where those things have been tagged. That's why it's good to do eye level, but the floor has to be flat. So that's another way to solve a lot of problems with regards to doing an artwork fast, if two characters are speaking to each other, or if your character's on the eye level and you're doing multiple sheets of a character talking, like say the character is walking around on a flat floor, in a flat room, around an object like this. They're not sitting or anything, but they're just talking and moving around. Their eye level, regardless of where they're going to be, is going to be the same here, whether it's here or not. And the only time that a person's eye level will change is if they're on an elevated platform or below elevated platform. Because if I stand all the way here, you see, I'm all the way over here, but my eye level towards this thing is the same, regardless of how far I'm walking away, because the floor is a flat floor. It's just the distance from my character to there is the same. So if you're talking about things in perspective, that was a perspective things based on distance going from here to here. But if we're talking about just drawing something over and over on a sheet of paper of a character that's stationed like something horizontal like this, draw a grid, because it allows you to, and you don't have to draw multiple lines, you just have to draw a horizontal line from the person's top of their body to the person's groin, and a line going left to right. Now if a character is moving here, obviously the vertical lines going from top to bottom will change, because the character is not in the same position. Like if you draw them over here, they're not in the same position. But what will stay the same is the lines vertical with regards to the distance from the top of the paper to the bottom of the paper will always stay the same, because it is the same. But also that will also stay the same if you draw also additional parallel lines to the sides of the face, the sides of the shoulder. Those things will also not change. So even if I put the character over here and I have the character facing sideways, and the vertical line for his sideways forms are at this distance and this height and this everything, if you have those from his side view and from his front view, and you write them on a piece of paper, no matter where the character goes, even from like say even here, if you have a character at angle at 45, if you have a frontal character, vertical lines from shoulders, neck, top of the head, and then from the side, shoulders, neck, top of the head, and at 45, shoulder, neck, top of the head, no matter where you draw the character moving on forward, you already have those things in place, because the horizontal line doesn't change, but the vertical form from side to side does change. The density with regards to end space change. See, the shoulders becomes compressed as they turn. That's the same as eyes. An eye length does not change vertically, but an eye length change horizontally as you're turning. You're squished inwards. The same with regards to the body. The body is squished inwards as it's turning horizontally, but the vertical does not change. So it's very important to understand this when you're doing art. Very important. Horizontal always changes when you're turning a body. Horizontal, think about this. Horizontal change, turning body. Vertical change when you're turning upside down. Or think about it this way, if you can't think about it any other way. Think equator, or the equator. Latitude, longitude. Think the equator. Equator equals crunching of the body. Always remember that. The equator equals crunching of the body. The North Pole, South Pole equals crunching of the body when you're looking up. So when you're looking left to right, crunching of the body from left to right. When you're looking up and down, crunching of the body, but only when you're looking up and down. So if you're drawing something with a character inverted, or a character that's looking up, or a character looking down, all verticals are crunched, but the horizontals aren't crunched. But if the character is moving from left to the right, the horizontals are crunched, but the verticals aren't crunched. So horizontal means crunch, vertical means crunch. Alright? Looking to the left, looking to the right means crunch. Drawing a body that's at an angle means crunch horizontally. Drawing a body at an angle vertically means crunch vertically. That's how that works. And lastly, with regards to eye lines and stuff like that, because that's how you draw things much faster. Not just about proportions, so also how to do things faster. Lastly, when it comes to drawing as well, the use of color speeds up how you would see things as well. If you're going to use heavy set colors, it's not a good idea to combine a lot of colors. So when you're doing any type of drawing, and no matter what it is, you're starting your sketch and everything, typically your sketch, you just use your pencil and everything. Always think in black and white, neutral and full colors, because empty space is not something the human eye works with. The human eye works with spaces being filled in. So if you're working with black and white and you understand things work best with filling objects in, it's best to do everything with your black and white first before you even work with color, because mixing colors together, no matter what type of color, or even 2 or 3 colors, confuses things with regards to spacing, because all colors have each a variation of a different tone of black and white inside of it, and thus the eye is trying to adjust with regards to the variations in tones of colors. Whereas if something is completely stark black and white, you don't have to worry about that stuff. That's why when most people do concept art, they work on it in black and white first, and then they tone it up with colors and so on and so forth thereafter. So if you're going to do something, always work in black and white first. And my suggestion is always, when you're working in black and white first, I would say as a practice, to work outwards in black and white rather than inwards in black and white. the same as when you're crunching things horizontally or vertically. Use the same method of how you crunch things. So if your character is facing a specific direction, where it's up, down, if you crunch those black and white colors in that direction, it would make, as you're shading it, or as you're drawing it, it would make those things go in that direction. So even if the character is not moving in that direction, or doesn't feel like they're moving in that direction, because you've been drawing and shading everything in that direction, that's the direction it would make the image look like it's going. So that's all I could say with regards to that. Oh yeah, and one final thing, if you're going to apply colors to anything, I would start with the lightest of colors that you could possibly find first. No heavy colors, because if you work with the lightest of colors, and I mean the lightest of colors as in very light pinks, light yellows, and light greens and light grays, and you're drawing a face, or you're drawing a body and stuff, you could get a feel for it. And I mean, what I'm saying with regards to this is, it's much more easier to fill in something with lighter colors than with heavier colors, because heavier colors tend to be very blotchy. And when it's very blotchy, because it's heavy, it tends to take a space and eliminate the space of white from the space of the color. In other words, it creates a deeper separation, and the eyes is now separating the color of white from the color of red very distinctly, and it's made them very distinct from each other. But if they're very light, the image that you draw can see that there's some variation of white present within the red. So start with very light colors and then work up to heavier colors. So that's all I got to say with regards to the art knowledge. It was a kind of a long video with regards to this, but so now I'm going to play this Warframe. But I did say I was going to do it. So that's what I did, and that's what I did. So it's like I went on for about 40 minutes about art, and then I went on for like 40 minutes about art, and then about the various different mangas anime that's coming out in January, and there's a shit ton of them. At least you have some understanding how to do your art much faster, and if you don't have determination, how to be determined much easier. There are many ways to do so, but those are my methods. Now, my methods won't work for everyone, but it does work. Especially the organization part with regards to 360 or 180, of keeping everything in front of you at a 180, extending a hand to the left and to the right like you have a clock in front of you, moving so you know exactly what each equipment are. Makes it so much easier.
Are now on the way.
Oh yeah, by the way, even though all that stuff I'm saying was all practical art stuff, if you're using a software like Photoshop or Illustrator, that could also be applied, depending on the tablet that you're using.
As you prepare prepares the setting from on high. Take a moment to read the prayer of the soul. Once you put a football in your creator, live or not die in a state of sin today.
My brother was telling me about the age that we're living in is digital. Nobody does practical stuff anymore. And like the logic of art has nothing to do with the equipment that you're using. It's a standard format regardless. It being digital doesn't mean the foundation is going to change. That's how you know he doesn't really know shit about art.
Delivering elite troops to neutralize the Hex. Rest assured, this criminal organization will be eliminated with extreme prejudice.
That's the last of them. Time to go home.
I make fun of him sometimes because I know he doesn't know anything. Like, it's much harder to understand how to do old school practical art because everything using a palette on a software, regardless of what software it is present in front of you. You just need to know how to use the formatted software and apply it digitally. Whereas in old school, you have to know how to mix things. If you don't, there's not going to be a machine that tells you how to mix it. You guys gotta have to know how to do it. So I laugh at anybody who makes fun of old school.
Basura vieja, friend. Got more old junk for us. Show me. Ay, por vigila todo ahí fuera. How's it? Yep.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I have no idea that Trinity was going to be Spanish. I like the idea. Like, it's the best idea ever. Because it's so unexpected. You would think she would be French or Italian. But no, it makes perfect sense that she would be Spanish. Because if you think about the lore of the word Trinity, It's very Spanish oriented, so it makes perfect sense. Because I believe Trinity is about life and rejuvenation.
At your service.
In Spanish mythology, as well as Spanish practices, is all about health and wellness and rejuvenation. Not all of it, but some of it. Wait, I thought I finished this.
Let me know when you have something.
Okay, so I didn't visit the back room apparently. Wait, what? I thought I strengthened all the bonds. What the hell was going on?
Please select destination.
What? Alright, so he's neutral. Since when? I thought he... Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty much understand how this works. What there's certain characters that are Japanese that I don't understand how it works. I understand you're using Japanese character to make images and faces. Makes sense. But some of them I don't know. Others I do know. Like this one, I don't know this one. So I'm gonna go with the one I do know. Yeah, thanks. Oh, so I'm at the light +3. Well, not really plus, but you know, 3 times more. More than sign. Okay, so he's offline. I'm on friendly. Friendly. So everyone's friendly. So he was the only person that was neutral, and of course this is me. Or them. Let me check this out. General Hex talk for everyone. Well, already had this conversation. So I'm friendly with everyone, so that should be it. I don't know what the hell is going on. If it was just that one guy, that's the reason why I couldn't move forward. I doubt it. Maybe there's something else. It's very strange. Let me go back to her. Or go back to Arthur. Reach liked with all friend. Oh, I'm reading it all backwards. I'm supposed to reach like, not friendly. Oh, Jesus. So this video might take a while longer. More conversations with regards to everyone. Alright. I'm forgetting the whole damn thing. Okay, Barrow's here. That's what that's all about. Alright, so light. Light it is. Speaking of which, do I want to change my outfit? No, I'll keep it the same.
Please select destination.
So, this is the part of the video that might be somewhat boring because I have to pick the right decision, otherwise it'll take a while for me to get to liked with regards to all these. And if it turns out that once I get a better profile with regards to this character and the next level up is not liked, it's something else, then that means like will probably come after this one, which means I'm going to end the video here if it's not liked, because you have to, every single one of them has to be liked. So if the next level up is not liked, then there was no reason for me to continue this video. Yeah, I'm gonna probably end it here. There's no way. There's no way I'm gonna reach liked in this video because the thing is, you have to reach like. You have to reach like, and each day that pass, they give you new conversations. So if I did this today, and they've gone offline, they're not gonna come back online today, but tomorrow they will. So even if I I mean, they're all friendly. But if it remains friendly again, I'm thinking it will change from friendly to something else. If it remains friendly again today, then I'm not going to reach like today. So there's no point in me doing this video with regards to increasing my Hollvania standing. I'll just do it to try to collect videos and keep fighting bad guys, but not for standings, because it's not going to work. It takes more than a day or two just to get from liked to, or from friendly to liked. I thought it would take a day, but apparently it takes more than that. You know what, since that's the case, then there's no reason for me to do the Hollvania at all. I'll do my weekly Archon. I do need to continue to level up Trinity, since I've got that Umbra Forma. So she's at maxed, so the Umbra did work. But since I'm going to be doing Archon, I'm gonna go with her, because Archon is not something to mess with. You gotta know what you're doing when you're doing Archon, or your character has to be like extremely strong, or defense has to be extremely good, because Archons start off at 130 and then it gets to like 145. So after Archon, I'll probably do an Eidolon hunt, and because I can't build Hollvania, apparently.
We must understand Pazul to understand his Narmer. You know these vaults. Get in. Find what you can.
Oh, Natar. I am known to be a cipher to be cracked. Come to me in humility. Abase yourself. And only you, will understand.
Oh shit, I brought the wrong character. This is Spy. Oh, for crying out loud. I'll let them do this. Or I could exit out and then, yeah, I'm gonna exit out. I'm not gonna waste time. I typically always abort mission because even though a lot of people see my profile saying my mission failures are high, it doesn't mean shit to me, because that doesn't mean anything. You don't really fail the mission. You just leave the mission, which is different. But they always classify it as fail. See, this is what I want. So I set off no alarms whatsoever. Well, my internet is still holding up past the hour, so I guess that's good. Yeah, so he left because he realized that he was engaging the enemy with the wrong type of frame. At least he's smart enough to know that. Alright, I gotta watch my energy. My energy pool isn't, I think I had it at 160 instead of 175.
Operator, you have remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
No, I have it at 175. But, and I have energy nexus on. But apparently the drain is much faster than I thought. So what's this about? Crash. TV high. Want to buy Zakta? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the wrong chat. Alright, so this is gonna be a little, well, actually no, it's not tough at all. Her thing is not about strength, it's about don't know why I don't have flow on, or prime flow for that matter.
Operator, the sentients are not laughing at my jokes. Did they adapt to my humor?
A lot of people don't like the whole romance thing in the Hollvania. I fully understand. Like, they want to play a game that's about Tony Stark type robots killing and taking out bad guys. They don't want romance. But what they don't understand, like, Warframe is not one thing. Warframe is everything. Like, everything you ever thought of in every game, Warframe has a bit of it. So if one day Warframe wants to be a romance novel, it starts to be romance novel one day. Like, what the fuck? This is one of those rare type games that it just changes. Like, you ain't gonna get shit like this in Destiny. Warframe is weird like that. It's just, it changes. Wukong guy, please don't fuck it up. You're not her. You have good stealth, but you're not like a Loki or Ibarra. Oh, Wukong guy succeeded. Wukong, you succeeded. Awesome. I thought you would fuck it up. That is already retrieved, so I could set off the alarms as much as I want. There's this other one. Oh no, I have to go back the way I came. Through the pipes. don't know why you guys always do this nonsense. Like, if you're able to hack something, just hack it. Don't do that. I already did my turn bullshit. Like, if the mission fails, it's your fault. I don't do that type of nonsense. Just hack it if you're there. Okay, I might have to solo this. The one bad thing about doing hunts with people is that most people, you know, they want to be bully badasses, and they bring the wrong frame every single time. It says, I could hack that using a Wukong, or I could hack that using an Excalibur, or I could hack that using a Trinity. Like, you're gambling with other people. Like, just use a character that could freaking do stealth.
We must understand Pazul to understand his Narmer. You know these vaults. Get in. Find what you
Now,
can.
if I fail at this, that means
Oh, Natar.
I suck at this.
I am no mere cipher to be cracked. Continue
But not really. I usually fail at these things, and I do it a couple of times, then I succeed.
will understand.
It's like fighting a boss. You never really succeed the first time when you solo it. What the hell was that all about? Why did my invisibility all of a sudden came off? That's weird. I didn't take it off. Now that came off. That made sense. There's another one. Where's the other one? I'm missing one. Wait, didn't I hack this one? Oh, I did hack this one. Like, people are so busy with trying to be badasses, like, they would fail a mission over and over just to prove a point. Like bringing Wukong and non-stealth frames. Because they believe they could do it like once or twice, or even the third time means it'll work out every single time. Like, every time you fail, you also fail other people as well. So they have to redo it all over again.
Truly sorry for everything. I saw the truth far too late. She will never forgive me. But you will, won't you?
Wait, what? It's not in here. What are you showing me in there for? Shit. This one is much faster. Come on. God damn it. I think I remember this one. There's a hole in the wall somewhere. Or is it outside or is it inside? Or a hole in the floor. There's a hole in the floor somewhere. I have to duck down, I believe. Or maybe it changed because this is an armor. No, it looks about the same. Where's the damn hole? Don't tell me I forgot. The hole is in the room somewhere. The hell's the hole? There it is. Come on. Come on. Wait, what the hell?
My brother is unwell. I will burn the sickness out of him if I have to.
Oh well. So that's typically, like, if you've never like soloed anything in the Warframe, or you've always done it in group, the one thing you will always want to solo is stealth. Never really do stealth with a group of people, because one, you'll fail more times than you succeed. You might actually succeed in the first time, but you're soloing. And if you fail it the first time, it's very likely that you will succeed the second time or the third. But the amount of times you'll fail with a group of people will probably be more than 3 times or more than twice. So it's always best to solo when it comes to stealth. Fighting a boss, not recommended. Unless you're carrying a weapon that does lots of crit damage. Then you could solo from an invisible point, because he can't find you. Which she's very good at, using her second ability. Because she just lock on with navigation and then the damage just teleports to their location. So she's very good at damage. But then you will have to increase your strength output. So for this, I'll go back to the one I had before. Now we could put it back on group, because the stealth part is the most difficult part.
Well put together, operator. Now get out there and
Cut down the...
and make the Lotus proud.
I would say that's the one thing in Warframe that even some people who've been playing for some times still are finding it difficult to do, the stealth. All they need to do, or they're still as conceited as they have always been, like refuse to use stealth frames to do something that will take them 3 times less.
This facility is a communications crossroad for Narmer. Listen in. I want to know what he's telling his flock.
Do you remember, little? That first day, how our father lifted your screen,
Oh, this is bad.
how we sat.
Also, do not use like tanky frames for interception. These type of things you would use crowd control frames for. That has great range, which Nyx isn't about crowd control at great range. So she'll survive, but it's not about her, it's about the towers. She'll survive easy, but it's not about her, it's about the towers. Let's see what else. Play with tower. whoever is in the group, I got this area. I got this tower. You could grab the other ones. With the Strupla and Nyx. They won't do much of anything to me in the 4th form. At a 175 efficiency. It'll take a while for them to even kill me. Feel like 400 to a million K damage. The secret to interception is like if everyone locked down a specific tower, they don't have to worry about. Let me go revive that guy. Where is he? There's a lot of enemies over there, so it should help them out. Well, no, they seem to be doing good. I'll stay right here. I won't move. Y'all can take the other ones. See, like I said, she'll survive. But it's not about her surviving. There's someone here? Like, what the hell?
Fazul is not merely insane, Tenno. There is another mind at work within him.
Just admit it, Natal. You're scared to face the possibility that I'm right.
Orders
No.
went mad for 3 milliseconds when he...
No, the anime that I am going to be watching for, well, that I'm watching currently right now, is the Mibu one, which should have been obvious.
Whatever Pazul may preach, Boreal and his fellow
Because
beasts
it's
are the
about
ones
Shinsengumi,
destined to rule.
her
Era is merely a tool to
alternate
them.
world
We
or
must strike where we can.
alternate reality of events. And then the other one is currently I'm watching the Blam movie. I just wanted to see. But the movie that I'm really into watching right now is the Gundam movie. So I want to see how that turned out. I didn't get to, or should I say not the Gundam movie, the Gundam series. Heard it was good, but I never really got into it. But something's going on. Yeah, it's a bug. What the hell?
Boreal is here. Strike fast. Use cover.
Kiss my ass. There you go.
This gate only opens to Narmer prayers. Tear the veils from deacons and use those.
It's a damn bug. It's a bug. Typically the orbs would be showing up. There's no orbs showing up, so I don't know where they are. They're invisible. God damn it, man. And he's not gonna stop doing his spinny thing until I shoot all of them. Freaking bullshit, man. Maybe if I go outside. Maybe if I leave him be. But he stopped doing it. Nope, he's gonna keep doing it. Christ almighty. If anyone ever tells you to take away Nyx's fourth ability, just direct them to this video where I just soloed this boss. Took me a while, but she didn't even take a scratch from him because she was invulnerable the whole time. So, yeah, I would usually call those people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like, you don't take away Nyx's fourth ability unless you're a lunatic or you have something better than their fourth. Like, she didn't even break a sweat, not even a sweat in that fight. It just took her a while, but she didn't struggle at all. She wasn't worried about dying. She wasn't worried about taking damage. She wasn't worried about keeping up her damage or her multiplier. All I kept doing was spamming the melee bullet attack. I didn't do anything. I actually took a swig of coffee while I was pressing the R3 with taking my hand off. I was one-handing it the whole time, just pressing down on the R3. So anyone who says Nyx should get rid of her fourth, yeah, I showed them this video and tell them I was one-handing it the whole time fighting that boss. So my video is still going, so let's see. 2 hours I think is a good time. I'll end it in like 15 minutes. I can't level up Hollvania because apparently there's something going on. I have to reach light, and it will take me at least a good 2 days to reach light. So I've been leveling it up, but light, I guess, is something that takes a while to do. So yeah, it was a group combat fighting that boss, but apparently the other two people bailed when they saw like it was a bug. But the bugs was from somebody else, not a bug like a lag on their part that caused the bug. So when they left, the bug went away. Oh, actually, like all these hot shit
well how the Tenno arm
people who
themselves.
play like Warframe, like diehards, like they know what they're talking about, but they also don't know what they're talking about. Like, you never take away the best features of a Warframe unless you substitute it with something that's better, that's guaranteed to make you win all the time. What they're talking about is PvP stuff, because in a PvP, it's not a bot you're fighting, it's a person. So the person will wait till your energy dries out and then attack you. The enemies in the game aren't like that. The game is going to always throw you enemies, and out of every 10 enemies, there's going to be one of them that drop an energy orb, which means she's always going to have energy. And if it gets to like you being in the mission for like 2 hours, there'd be like one drop for every two hours. There's like 20 energy drops, or for every hour, for every like 20 or 15 minutes, they'll drop in energy orbs. If it gets to that level that you go beyond 2 hours with a Nyx in an endless survival. But yeah, my build for her is good, so she never. That battle, I wasn't even running out of energy. Any energy I ran out, I knew the enemy was gonna, at least one of them was gonna drop an energy orb. So yeah, wasn't worrying about it. Might as well do this while I'm at it. Damn, one-handed it the whole time. I guarantee if you tell a pro that to fight that boss with one hand, they probably won't be able to do it. Unless they actually have one hand.
I'm still detecting a lot of infestation activity. Let's see. was a juggernaut. They were lured out by the death of infested. Lay low and it should go away, or amp up the fight to draw it out.
So what I meant by one hand is obviously when you're running, you can't one-hand it because you have to hold on the button for moving and then the other button for turning and stuff. I was being one hand when I was shooting, when I was stationary, because when you use the melee weapon and you use the R3, you're doing this. But you don't need to move, you're just doing that. So your character is moving with the R3. So wherever the direction of the enemy, it will follow the enemy when you're pressing the R3. Or you simply just drink your coffee and then you just bump your hand. See, you just slam your hand into the L3 and then move slightly to the side while you're doing this. So you don't really have to touch it. You can even use your elbows.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
I guarantee that's how people who use one hand play. Like people who are disabled and they have one hand. I guarantee that's how they play games like Dark Souls and Doom and Warframe. They use their elbows, you see. They may not have a hand, you know, but it's not their whole arm. Their arm isn't gone. It's just their hand is gone, not their whole arm. So when they're using the elbow end of their hand, it's still there. So, you know, when someone says they're one-handed, they don't mean their whole fucking arm is gone. Unless their entire arm is gone and they have a prosthetic, which if they have a prosthetic arm, they're still using the elbow of the arm, even though they can't work their fingers. So you'll be amazed if you press down with your hand, not your hand, but your with your right arm or your left arm, the bone of your arm, how you could easily move it around like this if you press down on it. See, he's moving around. And I'm pressing down. And I'm moving it. So you could guide it. Now if you move it forward more towards where the knuckles are, close to where the hand is, where your fingers are, but you're still not using your hands, to where the joint is, you're not using your fingers or your hands, you just position it within the joints.
Stand by
He's
while
moving
I
around
analyze the intelligence profiles of the Grenier.
with the L3.
Error, not a number.
See?
Did the operator enjoy this witticism?
And you're not using, even if you use your elbows, you put your elbows on it. You're moving around. Go left, go right. And then your fingers using the R3 is what's making you look. So, yeah. You can fight any enemy in any game. As long as the game is not super complicated, you don't really need to use two hands. You can use one hand. So yeah, I wouldn't advise it playing Dark Souls game though. You'll die too many times. But then again, I was watching a PlayStation video about PlayStation Access, and the guy named Rob from PlayStation Access was saying he was scared about fighting Bloodborne bosses or Bloodborne enemies, and a woman messaged him and said, I have one functioning arm and I'm able to play Bloodborne. She has one arm and she's playing a Dark Souls game. This is how I know anyone could play video games. If a person with one arm could play a Dark Souls game, no one could say they cannot play a game because it's too hard. If someone with one arm could fight a game.
The Juggernaut.
I saw this really like Valley girl online playing like Dark Souls game. She was like, it's too hard. Like, I wanted to point her towards that girl that did the one arm runs of Bloodborne. I'm like, man, you people are lame.
Continue.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call it a day after this. Um, I got an all-nighter I gotta do. So 1 o'clock where I am right now. I got like 3 more hours I gotta finish this project. Well, not finish, but 3 more hours of getting towards what I need to get towards with it. So I'm gonna drink a good amount of coffee before I get there. So yeah, that's all I had to say today. One, the anime that I'm going to be posting up in February, or the ones that I'm watching right now, I'm going to be posting up in February are subject to be determined because there are a shit ton of them, about 30 or 35 new animes. The kids one will knock it down to about 25 because I don't watch kids anime. More like to 20. But that's still 20 animes to go through. Even if I was to watch 2 episodes per each, that's still a lot of anime to get through. Even if I was to start the first day in January, January 1st, it would take me like, wow, a lot of days just to get through all of them. So that's why they're going to be posted in February because, like I said before, in December, the Japanese, they start their race, their horse race, the anime horse race in January and some in February, but mostly in January, and it's off to the races. And their checkpoint is typically in June and July, where they get to check on their returns and how good they did for the first 6 months. And that will be the determining factor of whether that anime, that new anime, becomes popular enough to be considered for a second season. So that's how they do it. They have like 3 checkpoints. They have the first initial
Operator,
release.
the
Then
sentients
they
are
have
not laughing at my jokes. Did they adapt to my humor?
then they have I guess the first half of the checkpoint, which is somewhere between March and April. And during March and April, when new anime come out again, that's when they check the one that they released in January to see how it's doing. And if it's doing well, come like June, July, that's when they decide whether they should continue that anime again. And then the next anime of that series, new series, pop up the following year. So that's how that works. They don't wait the entire year to see whether they will continue a new series. They wait only 6 months to see whether they decide to continue that series or cank it. Or yank it, as in Supernatural say. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. January and February will be the month of testing for them to see how their new animes do, and it will be the same for me to see how their new animes have done. And the studio I'm really into is Studio Trigger, because Studio Trigger used to be Studio Gynic from way back in the days, and Gynic used to be Awesome before it became Trigger. And Madhouse, been really into Madhouse and Studio Trigger stuff lately. And yeah, Studio Gokumi. I'm recently got into Studio Gokumi, but it's mostly Madhouse. Madhouse does a lot of good stuff, as well as Studio Trigger. Um, and Gokumi is doing a lot of good stuff too. Um, Asashi, not so much. They used to do some good stuff, but not so much nowadays. I hear about this new studio called TMS. They're not really new, but well, they kind of are compared to when animes come out. And of course, Studio Cloverworks, they do good stuff too. But the ones that are really into is Studio Trigger, which Studio Trigger haven't been doing good stuff. But to be honest with you, the studios I'm really into is Madhouse and Cloverworks. Those are the 2 main ones into, and Trigger. even though Trigger hasn't been doing anything that great lately. But those are the three that I'm really into. I'm curious if Bandai, well, Bandai is typically Gundam. So Bandai Namco, I'm always going to be into anything Bandai Namco. And Bandai Namco has been around forever. So Bandai Namco is doing a new anime called A Rank Party, um, Raidetsu. So I'm going to be into that one as well. There's it's a shit ton, man. I don't even know how I'm gonna. That's it. That's all I got to say for this video. My stuff is there's so many anime. Okay, so that's it. I gotta say for all for this. Yeah, don't have anything else to say. There's also one that about otaku culture that I watched the first episode for, so I think I'm gonna like that one a lot. Called Zenshu, I think so. Studio Mappa does that, which is another good studio. So here are the good studios if you really want to be into anime, if you're interested. Mappa, Madhouse, Trigger, TMS is doing kind of good, Cloverworks, and of course Bandai Namco has always been a traditional favorite of mine from way back in the days. Um, that I'm not sure exactly what the other studios are doing. Toonami is still doing good too. I mean, not Toonami. Toei is still doing good. Toei does Gundam. I mean, not Toei does Gundam. Toei does Godzilla, and Toei does Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. So Toei just came out with Dragon Ball Daima as well. That's a new one. So yeah, those are the studios to watch out for. The five ones I say, and of course Toei Animation. So yep, I gotta go. For the remaining of January and all of February, I'm going to be busy. And of course, I thought I was going to do God of War Ragnarok game in February, but apparently there is no God of War Ragnarok in PlayStation Plus. I was seeing things, so I might have been seeing things. So yeah, so that is good for me though. That's good for me because I got a shit ton of anime to go through, and I know half of them aren't going to be good at all. Um, Madhouse usually do good stuff though, as well as Toei Animation. Yeah, so who knows? All right, gotta go.